What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new episode of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am the Renegade JJ Williams, and today I'm going to be discussing from 2001 as we wrap up Black History Month, Ali, starring Will Smith, Jamie Foxx, Jon Voight, Mario Van Peebles, Mykelti Williamson, Nona Gay, Paul Rodriguez, Giancarlo Esposito, LeVar Burton, and Leon Robinson. What's up, everybody? Thank you for joining me once again today here on a brand new episode of Renegades Reviews. Like I said, we are wrapping up Black History Month, wrapping up the Chick Flicks Month. February has come to an end. It's been fun, I gotta say. Doing the romantic comedies at the start of the month, I wasn't really feeling some of those. I'm not the biggest guy into chick flicks, but it's February. Valentine's Day was around the corner. Had to do some love stories. And then, of course, as always, February is Black History Month. So we had to delve into some of the history of Black history in films also. And I got to tell you guys, man, I enjoyed it. And next year, we're definitely going to be doing more of the same for the month of February. I think this is a good way to go. As a matter of fact, just yesterday, I went out and I scored me, if I can keep these from falling, a few new movies. So we're going to be covering stuff like The Bounty Hunter. Again, if I can keep these from all falling. And probably The Ugly Truth next year when we talk about rom-coms. Just possibilities. We've also got over here Harriet and Selma, among others, to discuss when we get to the Black History portion next year. So we're already starting to stack up and collect some stuff for next year's Chick Flicks Rom-Com / Black History Month. But that's the past. We need to talk about the present. We need to talk about today's movie and wrap up this whole celebration. And we're talking about the greatest of all time, Ali. And our film follows about a 10-year span in the life of Cassius Clay, starting just before his February 25th, 1964 bout against the reigning heavyweight champion, Sonny Liston. Odds of this fight had Clay as a 7-1 underdog. We see Cassius training for the fight and taunting Liston at every possible turn, just trying to get under his skin. Using those verbal skills that Ali was known for. And yes, I realize I'm calling him Clay right now. At this point in the movie, he hasn't transitioned to Muhammad Ali. So I'm going to be using both names right now. He's Cassius Clay. During the fight, Clay dominates the early rounds. About halfway through, Cassius complains about a burning feeling in his eyes. He believes that Liston has used something and is cheating to try to get the upper hand. And he's about ready to throw in the towel, but his trainer tells him, nah, you've got to keep going through this. You've got to push because you've got him if it goes to a decision. So Cassius keeps on fighting, and once his vision returns, he resumes the domination of Liston. He forces Liston to quit prior to the 7th round, when Liston spits out his mouth guard and is just like, I'm done. This makes him the new world heavyweight champion. And after his victory, he begins to spend a little bit more time with his friend, confidant, and associate, Malcolm X. Now, Malcolm X was a minister in the Nation of Islam at this time, and he was inspiring Cassius to join the nation. So, under the tutelage of Malcolm, Clay is invited to the home of Elijah Muhammad, the leader of the Nation of Islam at the time. And it is Elijah Muhammad who gives Clay the name Muhammad Ali. Now, Ali's father disapproves of this change, as well as his marriage to a former Playboy bunny. Malcolm is kicked out of the Nation of Islam and told to stop speaking on its behalf. He goes to Africa, Malcolm goes to Africa and converts to Sunni Islam, which is a different variation of the belief. Ali meets up with Malcolm in Africa, and Malcolm tries to persuade him to join this new version of Islam with him so that they can remain tight and brothers. But Ali turns down the request to convert with him, honoring the wishes of Elijah Muhammad, who had told him, to stay away from Malcolm, stop hanging out with him, because Malcolm had basically been exiled by the Nation of Islam. And he didn't want another prominent figure in Ali to keep associating with Malcolm because felt it would be bad on the brand, so to speak, on the religion. And Ali would later describe the demise of their friendship as one of his greatest regrets after Malcolm's assassination. After Malcolm is assassinated, Ali is visibly distraught. And upon his return to America, Ali puts the title on the line in a rematch against Liston, which Ali wins via first-round knockout. The Nation of Islam then pressures Ali to divorce his wife because she's not conforming to the Islamic beliefs. She wears lipstick, she goes to bars, she dresses revealing clothing, etc. And Ali, trying to be a prominent figure in the Nation of Islam, trying to be this beacon, so to speak, of belief, he really wants to try to keep on the good side of the Nation of Islam so as to not get kicked out the way that Malcolm did. So he goes ahead and divorces her. On April 28th, 1967, Ali appears in Houston, Texas, for his induction into the United States Armed Forces. But when his name is called multiple times, he refuses to step forward. He refuses to serve in the military during Vietnam. As a result of his resistance, he's arrested. And later that day, the New York State Athletic Commission suspends his boxing license and strips him of his title. So within his defiance of serving in the United States military, he now has lost his means of survival because boxing was his life. And during this period of time, Ali meets and marries Belinda Boyd, who is a 17-year-old girl. Ali was able to remain a free man during the time in which his case is being appealed, so his jail sentence would not have started until the appeals and everything were finally done. On June 28th of 1971, Ali wins his appeal case at the United States Supreme Court level by a unanimous 8-0 decision. For his first fight back, he defeats Jerry Quarry in 3 rounds via technical knockout. Back in the ring again, he's able to get in there, start fighting, and technically having never lost the title, it was stripped of him. Ali demands a title shot against the current champion, Joe Frazier, in a match dubbed the Fight of the Century. Frazier is declared the winner by a decision, handing Ali then the first loss of his career. However, on June 22nd, 1973, Frazier would lose the title to George Foreman, despite being the overall favorite in the match. And although this fight was not featured in the film, on January 28th, 1974, Ali and Frazier would face off once again. This time, though, it was Ali who walked out the victor via unanimous decision. And with Ali having defeated the former champion, he set his sights on George Foreman, the current champion, in order to get his title back. This is where Don King enters the picture and starts to position himself as fight promoter extraordinaire that we all know today, due to his various involvement in Tyson's fights in the 80s and 90s. And Don King wants to negotiate and promote the match between the two fighters in Zaire, Africa, which would be dubbed the Rumble in the Jungle. While in Zaire, Ali meets Veronica Porsche and has an affair with her. After hearing rumors of his infidelity circling around, Ali's wife, Belinda, travels to Zaire to see for herself. And when she confronts him about Veronica and asks him if he loves her, he replies that he just doesn't know. He just wants to focus on the fight at hand and his training. Belinda and Ali would end up divorcing, and Ali would end up in time making Veronica his third wife. During the majority of the fight against Foreman, Ali leans back on the ropes, making Foreman expend energy, leading to him tiring himself out. In the 8th round, Ali is able to drop Foreman with a combination right in the center of the ring, and when Foreman is unable to make the count, Ali is declared the winner, regaining the world championship that he never lost in the first place. I don't know why I had never seen Ali prior to this, as I'm a fan of Will Smith. Maybe it's just because I've never really been a boxing fan. I mean, I know who Ali is. I've known for my entire life who Ali is. And Cassius Clay, who he was before he became Ali. I know the name Sonny Liston. I know Joe Frazier. I know George Foreman. So I'm not really sure what kept me away from Ali. But I have to say, I am very glad that I delved into it to review for my show. I thought it was a tremendous movie, very well told. I thought Will Smith was incredibly charismatic as Ali. I did think it was kind of funny, the irony with Will Smith playing the character, because for those of you that most everybody knows that Will Smith was a rapper prior to being an actor who went by the name of the Fresh Prince. DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Well, I want to say in 1989, they released their third album called And in This Corner. And the main single from that album was a track called I Think I Can Beat Mike Tyson. And then you fast forward 12 years, and Will Smith is playing the greatest of all time, going in there as Ali, fighting Frazier, Foreman, Liston. So I just find the irony in that kind of humorous, from a rap song where he's trying to talk a little bit of mess to Tyson and gets owned in the song, if we're being honest. But I think I can beat Mike Tyson to the champ is here. I find that amusing personally. I don't know about y'all. Maybe it's just me. When it comes to my rating of this film, I give Ali 4 out of 5 stars. The cast was perfect. Everybody did a great job in their roles. It was cool seeing Giancarlo Esposito in this film, as I discovered who he was through the ABC series Once Upon a Time. And I know he's now on The Mandalorian. I haven't seen him on that. I kind of wavered a little bit on that series, and that's bad of me. I need to get back in there and finish season 1 and see all of season 2. But in any event, I know he's on The Mandalorian now. So good on him. He's a tremendous actor. I enjoyed him on Once Upon a Time. So it was cool seeing him in here. Like I said, again, Will Smith just did a tremendous job with the role of Ali, very charismatic. Mario Van Peebles, a name that I hadn't really heard since the 90s. To see him in here as Malcolm X, I thought he did a tremendous job. Even though he had no lines, LeVar Burton in the role of Martin Luther King. What irony when I picked this to be the movie to round out the Black History Month portion. I started it with Roots, which is what established LeVar Burton in his role as young Kunta Kinte. And then here he is as Dr. Martin Luther King in Ali. Again, he doesn't have any lines really. You only see him. But still, man, it's great to see him in that role. Leon Robinson, better known just simply as Leon, having played in The Temptations, having played in Above the Rim, having played in Cool Runnings. To see him in here, as soon as his face popped up, I'm like, I know that guy. I had to double check to make sure I was right about who it was, but when I ended up being right, I was like, man, it's all-star cast. Mykelti Williamson, and I apologize if I'm saying that name wrong, but Bubba from Forrest Gump as Don King. What? Such good casting. So 4 out of 5 stars for me. Let's make sure we get out there, get those hashtags trending on social media. Hashtag Casa D18 Studios, hashtag Renegades Reviews, hashtag Renegade Returns, and of course the ever popular hashtag Shenanigans.
We interrupt this episode of Renegades Reviews for an important announcement about
merchandising.
Merchandising? What's that?
Merchandising. Come, I'll show you. Merchandising, where the real money's made.
Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network for all the t-shirts you see here from the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham himself. You can get shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, Talk Wrestling, as well as the red and gold Meachamania shirts. And while you're there, don't forget to get your shirts of the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood, the Dads on Wrestling shirt, the Renegade JJ Williams, Statboy Sports Bar, and the hashtag StatBoyApproved shirt. Make sure you go over to teespring.com/stores/ Jeff Meacham Network and score your shirts today.
Don't forget to get out there. Do what the commercial just told you. Go to teespring.com/stores/Jeff Meacham Network. Score your merchandise for the Casa D18 Studios Brotherhood and the Jeff Meacham Network. Your Dad's Not Always on Wrestling shirt, your Renegade JJ Williams shirt, your Meachamania shirt, your Stat Boy Sports Bar shirt, Talk Wrestling, the official shirts for the Jeff Meacham Network, and so much more. Tomorrow, right here on a brand new episode of Renegades Reviews, exclusively on the Casa D18 Studios channel. Join me as I kick off what is guaranteed to be an interesting month, as I start doing movies that star wrestlers. And we're kicking tomorrow off the only way we could, with a live episode of Renegades Reviews, which will not only be here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, but will be also streamed on the Jeff Meacham Network. And we will be discussing No Holds Barred. Definitely going to want to come in tomorrow, see what I have to say about that. I will be joined by Jeff Meacham on that episode, as tomorrow, March 1st, is Jeff's birthday. So I had to pick a Hogan movie to start the month off with. Couldn't think of a better or worse, depending on your point of view, film than No Holds Barred. So once again, you're going to want to make sure you come here tomorrow. Check that out. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys tuning in, leaving me comments as always. I do my best to get back to every single one of you. Thank you for all the love that I've been getting. And until next time, right here on Renegades Reviews, when we talk about No Holds Barred, I will see you then.